What's that, Skip? Seano's talking about Supercoach again. Let's go. G'day everybody, it's Seano again, and I'm back with some more Supercoach content. Today we've got the most important team reveal of the year. It's my final team reveal. Yes, round one is upon us. We've just finished round zero. We've had a good look at all those teams that played in round zero. And so now after looking at that, I'm going to show you what my team is at the moment. Now, yes, it says final team, but it will probably change depending on what rookies are named for round one. But this is as close as I can possibly get you at the moment with what we've seen. Now, before we get on to it, a couple more things. Obviously, there's a big week. This is the biggest week we can have in Supercoach, the week leading up to the round one lockout. So if you haven't already subscribed, now is the time. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. Also, if you like the video, leave me a like. And also, if you would like to leave me a comment and tell me what you think of my team, please do that as well. Also, joining my leagues, you're going to see when we go to the next screen, there's a couple of new leagues come up. I have opened a new 20-person league for anyone who wants to join that. The other one's filled up pretty quickly, so jump in there and join that. The Unlimited League is still available. We're trying to get to 100 people. So if you're watching the video now and you've got room for one more league, jump in that. 100 people in that league will make me very, very happy. And also, we're going to be doing some drafts. We've got some upcoming videos. So tomorrow, I'm going to be doing a draft, and then straight afterwards, I'm going to release a video of that draft. I'm going to record it and I'm going to release it. And during that video, I'm going to have a special code for everyone who watches that video where you can get into a draft with me. I'll be drafting on. So that will be Monday, and we'll do the drafts. I think we'll do two. We'll do one on Tuesday and potentially one on Wednesday as well, and then we will definitely be doing another live video straight after that. So that's tomorrow, Monday, another live video where we talk about with the community what we saw on the weekend and try and give any help to anyone who wants help out there. I'm definitely going to do the post your team in the Discord where we go through and review your team. And I'll give you my opinion, and the people in myself and the people in chat will be able to try and give you a hand if you would like to do that. So if that's something you're interested in, jump over into my Discord. I'll leave a link down below and pop your team in the post my team here section. Anyway, crew, that's enough of me gibbering on. So let's go and have a look at my team. All right, you'll see that I've blocked out except for the rookies. Well, you're not supposed to see that one yet. Except for the rookies are pretty much blocked out. The rookies, these are the ones I kind of like the look of, which we got to see. And like we said, they might change, but these ones, we've got a better idea now about what they're going to score and what kind of position they are and what kind of job security they have. So one more thing before we go on, I want to show you guys. So last year, during the live streams, we went through, and these were my notes for this year. And I'm going to see how well I'm sticking to my notes. So my number one note to myself was to guns and rookies. We wanted to do guns and rookies. No more than one mid-pricer in each line. 2 gun rucks. Well, that might not be happening. We'll have to wait and see about that. No more than one 550k player in each line max. And hold primos, no sideways trades. And buys in the bias try for 18 primos. So in the beginning of the season, the ones probably really applied to us are the guns and rookies, no more than one mid-pricer. The 2 gun rucks is a bit tricky this year with the rule changes. Obviously, we made this before the rule changes. And no more than one 550k player. Well, I'm pretty sure I've broken that rule. But all right, let's go in and see what my players are. So welcome to my number one defender, who I've been harping on all about pre-season. We are going to have Mr. Jack Sinclair. Now, if you watched the game today, you saw that Nas was a bit quiet. He had a bit of attention put on him. They put him up forward for a while, and this is exactly what I was afraid of. And this is what I kind of was thinking myself. Now, everyone who was watching my videos, you might have took my advice and had Sinclair in, or you might have still be going with Nas, but at his current score, I don't know if you can pick him now. He I think you might need to have another look and see what other teams are going to do. And if he does, after a few weeks, you might be able to get him a bit cheaper. So for me, Sinclair has always been on my radar. Without Nas in the back line, he loves it. And just look at that score that he got this week of 143. So I assume he was at about 15% popularity, I believe. 18% at the moment. I'm sure by tomorrow it's going to be a lot higher than that. And NASA's at 56%. I'm sure by tomorrow it's going to be a lot lower than that. So number 2 in the Seano's backline, Connor Rosie. Been there all season. He's still there. 64% owned. He's not one that I'm going to fade. He's got DPP. There's nothing more to talk about him. No early buy. Let's just move on. Now this position is one that's been a bit all over the place during the preseason, but because of the buys, I think I'm going to give Colby McKercher a go. Now, am I worried about his role? Yes. We haven't seen him all preseason? Yes. His injury was only a finger injury, so I'm not really too worried about that. I'm more worried about if he comes out and plays midfield. But Fino Sutherland's been playing a bit of midfield. There is no George Wardlaw, so someone's going to have to step up and play that midfield. So the fact I'm going to go him, I'm going to give him a chance just because he's the 450k. It's a lot easier to move around at a 450k player than some of these cheaper guys. I also really like the look of Dan Houston's game today. Took some kickouts, and so he's around that same price. Bergman's around that same price. And there's a few players like Blackiston and Windsor who are also a bit lower that I can pivot to if I need to. So we kind of just mentioned the next man, Caleb Windsor. Now, just because of money-wise, would I prefer someone a little bit more reliable than McKercher, like a Lockie Whitfield? Sure, I would. But Lockie Whitfield does have that early buy. Now, I'm not freaking out about that early buys, but I don't want to have too many players. At the moment, I think I'm pushing the higher end of how many players you can have, and we'll talk a little bit more about that once the team reveal has finished. So Windsor, he's had the role in the preseason games, playing on ball. You would think he's going to get a promotion, a DPP status to go in the midfield. So he's one that I figure I could always drop down to one of the 170k rookies that I really like. I really like Grill and I really like Farrow. But at the moment, for the money-wise, I can't get them in. And there's a world where Windsor could be in D3 and the Farrow and Grill could be in my team because I do want them, but the money is a little bit tight. Now, the number 1 midfielder, who's it going to be? It is going to be Zack Butters. So we've had Bont in for ages. We want Bont, but a bit like Nas, we saw on the weekend that Bont got some attention from Dunkley and they pushed him forward. And unlike Nas, though, he smacked through 3 goals and pretty much showed that, putting him up forward is really dangerous. But he's not going to do that every time, the same as Nas didn't do it today. So the thing is, his score was okay. He had like 19 possessions and scored 3 goals, I think it was. If he had scored another 10 possessions, he gets 150 score. So it's not like he was far off it. But they did show that they were quite happy to put him forward there. It was extremely dangerous there. The CBAs, the first quarter he had like 80% in the CBAs, and the last quarter he had hardly any. So there's always a world where he doesn't, or he drops a little bit. He's still going to be in all our teams in the season. You're still going to want him. But there is a world where he drops, and there is a world with the buys that maybe that I don't start him. And so I really want him, but I'm not going to start him for the moment. So the next man is Nick Daicos. He ran riot today. He only got to score 117, but he had 1 million possessions. So I think he's pretty safe to have in my team. And if a few of those possessions were contested or were inside 50s or something, that could have easily been a much, much bigger score. Let's just have a quick look. How many possessions did he end up getting? He ended up getting 41 disposals. Now, the good thing, you know, with Daicos is he's not going to rest up forward. He's going to play in the guts. And so that's why I'm going to go him. Then the next man in my team is Mr. Errol Goulden. Like what I saw on the weekend, it wasn't quite the CBAs that I wanted to see, but I still really liked what I saw. I still think he's value at that price. I think he had 2 points. If he had kicked a couple of goals, it could have been a 130 or 140 score. So I think, you know, he still might, if he still plays that role where he comes in from the wing, which he kind of went back to his old role, not the role that we saw in the practice matches where he was like a super high CBAs. But I still think he can score really well, and I still think he's value at that price, and I still think Sydney are going to be a very good team this year. So he's locked in there. In the next one, I think he's kind of forced himself into my team. Mr. Sam Walsh. Now, at that price, we've seen 2 games. Both games he's scored over 100 fantasy points or Supercoach points, and he's looked really good. Again, he is right in there in the midfield. He's not going to be, he's getting the high CBAs. He's not going to be, you know, rested up forward or down back. So I figure at his price, I can see really, really good value. And so the next player is a player that I'm picking a little bit to do with the buys. So I need someone who's not going to play on a buy here, but who's going to do me well. So this is someone I did a video about earlier on the season. LDU. I think there's some upside at 520 to LDU. Whether he's a keeper or not, you got to pick. If I'm picking him at 520, I'm assuming he's a keeper. But at the same time, if he covered me through these early buys and I pushed him up to a Bont or someone, Bont comes down to Bont comes down to 620. LDU goes up to 550, 560, and I just chuck it on top and jump up to a Bont or something like that. Plus, he covers me with the early buy. So I think there's a bit of upside to LDU too. I think he can score much better than he did last year. And like I said, if you would like to check out that video, go back and watch the video. And I think he could be very good this year. So we no need to reveal Young and Parrish. They're both locked in the team. I think we're going to just lock them in, and we can throw away the key and we see what happens. Everyone's got them. If they don't pan out, you go down to a cheaper guy who is, or up to the other, you know, slightly more expensive guy that's breaking out, or a rookie. There's many options, but I think fading them is just not for me this year. So then we're going to do, I know he didn't score the best today, crew, or on his match this week, Mr. Jagger Smith, but don't be afraid of that. One, he's a rookie. Don't get too excited with the rookies. Like, we didn't talk much about the rookies, so we'll go back after it. But we saw he scored, had 30 possessions the other day. The role is there. They like him. He's going to score well. Don't be afraid. He's just locked in. As for the rookies in the back line, Jarks did really well at 84. He cemented his place in my team, was killing it for the first half of the game. Lindsay we didn't see. Sarong did really well, 77. And Selwood also did well. If you're not familiar with Selwood, he's a more mature, got a bigger body. Bulldogs had pretty much a full team, I believe, so his job security looks okay, and he played okay. He was right back there with Bailey Dale and, you know, kind of being the enforcer in the background, in the back line. So a 70, I thought was reasonable, definitely enough for a 119 player for him to get into my team, obviously as long as he's picked next week. So, and for the rookies for the midfield, as you can see, we went very deep in the midfield because we don't like the rookies that much. Carroll, 54, I'm happy with that. I honestly expected maybe less. So a 54 is reasonable for him, I would say. Like I said in our video we did last time, you got to taper if you're expecting a 60 out of all your rookies, that's a nice expectation, but it's just not going to happen. Sharp, we'll give him a go. And hopefully Blamiers, sorry if I mispronounced your name, Mr. Blamiers, but that's what I'm calling you. Hopefully you get a game at 99k, because that's going to help us all out a lot. For the rucks, as you can see, we've still got this useless chocolate fireman. or, you know, about as useless as screen doors on a submarine, the man called Liam Reedy. At 31, I hate to say I told you so, but I told you he was going to get 30, and he got 30. So this is what we should expect from him. If you're expecting a 60 out of Reedy, I think you are dreaming. He's going to have the game of his life to get a 60. He's gonna go between 30 and 50, and some days he might not even break his break even. If he gets to 160, 170k, I think we're going to have to be happy if you got him. Now, there's not many other options, and he provides me the a bit of a, you know, flexibility. So I'll probably lock him in, but I'm not expecting him to score, and there's no way that I ever want this man on my field. With saying that, we have a man I do want on my field is Tim English. Looked very good all the preseason. The rules seem to suit him more than any others. He got 117 today. If we have a quick look at the, or was it yesterday? Quick look at the stats. He had like 16 disposals, you know, 37 hit outs, 10 to advantage versus he was versing a beginner, a baby at the Brisbane, a newbie, but 8 contested possessions. He just ran. He got 5 free kicks, 2 goals. Like, he always just run down the field. So if he's up against rucks that can't run, he's going to run them off their feet. So he's locked in my team. He's been there for a while now. I think we're going to have to go the risky. I've looked at all. The problem here is I'd love to go a second big ruck, whether it be a Sherry or I think Grundy looks good. If I knew Jackson was going to play, you know, solo ruck, I'd pick him. Even TDK looked okay for half a game, and then the first quarter he was really good, and then him and Rowan Marshall really took almost 50-50. Like, I think at one point I saw it was 60-40 for the centre bounce tendencies to in the favour of TDK, and then at the end Rowan Marshall got injured, got concussed, and got sat off, and then he took them all. If I knew TDK was going to be the only number one ruck, I'd probably take him as well. But so there's no one that I'm really confident in at the price range that I really want to pay up for. So we're going to go the very risky McAndrew. We're going to go the very risky McAndrew. And if it doesn't work, we'll have to sell one of these midfielders. Poor LDU or Walsh or Goulden, or even if Daicos has a bad day or something, we'll have to go to get me a proper ruck. Hopefully, McAndrew can at least play 4 or 5 weeks, make some money, and give us enough time to jump on someone, whoever's looking good, like a Grundy that's gone down a bit, or a Cherry that's gone down a bit, or whoever we like. So it gives us a look at the rucks, see who we like, and then hopefully McAndrew just stays there. But it could be a disaster, as you said, as we see. If McAndrew doesn't play, Reedy's going to come on and score a 30. So it could work out as a disaster, but I just can't find a ruck that I want that works in with the price range and the buys. Okay, so in the forward line, everybody's got him. No surprise, Mr. Harry Sheasel. What a legend. We don't need to talk about him. Put him in your team, lock it, and throw away the key. Now, this man was also a lock in my team, but obviously now after scoring 170, he should be a lock in everybody's team. Yep, I put out a video on this man too. Like I said, LDU, I put out a video. I'm backing myself in. Sinclair, I've been after on him all season. I'm backing myself in. I've been back and forth, but you know, sometimes your first thoughts are the best thoughts. Don't let the preseason, sway you too much. And so I've always been on Petrarca. Everyone's going to be on him now. One of the toughest men in the league. If you don't know why he's one of the toughest men in the league, go back and read about his injury in 2024, where someone basically tried to kill him on field, and by kneeing him in the ribs, and he went back and continued to play the rest of the game with a lacerated spleen, punctured lung, and several broken ribs, I believe it was. And the man went on and played on anyway. And then at the beginning of 2005, someone broke his ribs again, and he still played half a season as well. So you don't find a tougher man. He gets if he's happy to go on and play like that. He's certainly happy to put his head over the ball and go after those contested possessions, which we know he can. 170, it's just awesome. So put him in your team now. He's going to go up in money, but he's a keeper anyway. So he'll be, I did predict that he could even potentially outscore Sheasel before this happened. And so, like I said, I don't like to say I told you so, but he's a man that I am not fading. All right, next one. We've all got him. Ned Flanders, or Sam Flanders as we could call him. I'll call him Ned Flanders. I only got a 77 today. I wouldn't be worried too much about that crew. He's still got the role. He's still going to be good. I'm not freaking out about it. I'm still locking him in, and I'm just going to do it. You don't want to be too reactive around one game. And don't forget, crew, even with the 170, these scores only stay in the score rotation for one round. What I mean by that is, so the first score will drop out. So 3 score running average, you get 3 scores, then they go up. So then the next score, so this 170, if Petrarca got 50, 50, 50 for the next 3 games after this 170 disappears, and then he's got a very low average. So the first score is not that super important, especially when it comes to, making money as well. So you got to keep that in mind, especially if you are tempted by some of these mid prices like I am. So Conor Buderick, I like this game. In the last quarter, he took kick-ins, quite a lot of kick-ins. He didn't take so many in the first 3 quarters, but in the last quarter, he took quite a lot. And he looked very good, and he kind of helped the Bulldogs set him up a little bit off the back line. So pretty happy with that. We know the Bulldogs' backs are high scoring, like Bailey Dale, obviously. They like to move the ball around between them back there. So at 240k, he's a bit more expensive than I really want to pay. But I've also got a plan as well. If it fails, we can always jump off him for someone like a Doveston. So the Port Adelaide rookie, who is probably going to be a slow burn, but he is a basement price. So I do have a plan if this doesn't work, but if he goes okay, and one of these things, I didn't really mention it, I like it because he'll get DPP. So at round 6, he'll get forward defense status, and that could help me out coming to the buys if he's doing okay, or just moving and offering flexibility in my team. Same with Windsor in the back here. He will also get DPP, so he will be a defender mid, so that also could help me out a little bit. And the last man, well, he's got this kind of the same option, Tanner Bruhn. So he will also get defender mid, DPP come round 6. So that's the team. Let's save it up for everybody so we get a bit, see it bigger on the screen. So quick, if we lock in the things so we can get that message off the screen, which is really annoying. There we go. So a quick look. Sinclair, Rosie, McKercher, Windsor, Lindsay, Jakes, Sarong and Selwood, Butters, Daicos, Goulden, Walsh, LDU, Young, Parrish, Smith, Sharp, Carroll and Blamiers, English and McAndrew with Reedy, Sheasel, Petrarca, Flanders, Buderick, Philippou, Robertson with Marshall and Lombard, and Bruhn in the flex. Now, if I was going to make changes to this team, I think the one change I kind of like, which I could potentially do, is even like Buderick down to the Doveston, who doesn't have an early buy, and then like a McKercher up to someone more like a premium, whether that be a Whitfield or something like that. 58k in the bank, which is not quite enough as I wanted. As you can see with this team, one of the reasons with not having Bont in the team, it gives me a little bit more money to do a few things. So that's the team. Now let's see, what were my rules? Let's see if we stuck to my rules. Guns and rookies. Well, We got a few mid-price there. No more than one mid-pricer in each line, 2 gun rucks, and no more than one 550k player. So guns and rookies, not really, but no more than one mid-pricer in each line. So we've only got one in this row, Windsor. McKercher, he can be called a mid-pricer. We can also call him a breakout. He's kind of a tricky one. We can see what he can do. It's more about the role. I don't love the pick, but like I say, I love the buy. So both of these guys, Windsor and McKercher, will get me through the early buys if I need to deviate off them. So we got 2 in this line, 2 mid-prices, Young and Parrish, but I think we just have to go there for the defence this year. I mean, for the midfield this year. We didn't say anything about 2 gun rucks, we said. Well, we're not doing that, so we're not sticking to that rule. And then here we've got Buderick as I guess you can call him a mid-pricer, or maybe he's an expensive rookie, but, so really I've got 1, and then 2 here. So that's not too bad. No more than, 550k players. Well, Rosie's over 550k. In each line. So I've got 1 here. He's probably close enough that I'll give myself that's under 550. It's close. We got 2 over 550 here, but then we'd say Goulden is close enough as well. So we've got 3 that are under. So I'm kind of sticking to that rule there. We've just got 1 more over. The ruck, yep. So rucks, I said 2 big rucks, but like I said, I think the uncertainty is too much this year. And then only Cheese was over 550 in the forward line. So the only thing I think, maybe I can go guns and rookies. Maybe I can. But let's have a quick look at the buys. Let's have a quick look. How am I doing on the early buys? So in round 2, we got Daicos and Walsh. Don't forget, you only count the premiums. You don't really care about the rookies. So that's 2 out. And you don't really mind per round as long as you can get the 18. So we've got 2 out. In the round 3, we've got 1, 2, 3 premiums out. So that's a total of 5. And in round 4, we have Flanders and Sinclair. So that's 7. Now, in every variation of this team I've done, I haven't been able to get less than 7 players off from the early buys. It's always been 7 or 8, and every time I've gone lower than that, gone like 6, I don't like it. Like, I could drop Sinclair and get a Rory Laird, but do I think Rory Laird's going to score as much as Sinclair? No, I don't. And do I think Sinclair will catch him? Yes, I do. And I think that I want to waste a trade on going from a Laird, which should probably a Laird is probably a reasonable pick, or the other one is the only two which don't have buys, which I could maybe put instead of McKercher. Say we dropped Windsor down to a Sam Grill. We could put, instead of McKercher, we could have one of the only two players I think a viable option. One is Rory Laird and the other one is Jordan Clark from Freo. Both don't have the early buys, and that would give me more of a guns and rookies feel. So I still might do that, but as you can see, that would give me the same. I would have the same amount. Who would be the rookie? The rookie, would be Richmond. So, but besides that, I can't seem to get less than 7 players who I don't want. Like, do I think that I would like to? Who out of the midfield do you really think is going to finish in the top 10 midfielders that doesn't have an early buy from those teams? Now, there's only really one player I can think of. Jordan Dawson might finish in the top 8 to 10 players, and he's 600k. So, besides that, I think the next ones down who don't have early buys are way down the list, and you will catch these people if a player picks a whole team of non-early buy players, but they're like people like they pick Jack Steele over Daicos. So I guarantee you that I'm going to catch them within a few rounds when Daicos is scoring, 130s, 140s or whatever, and Steele's getting like 105s. So I'm not too worried. Would I like less? Yes. Could there be more? Yeah, but I don't want there to be more. I think this is the lowest I feel comfortable of doing anyway. And without Bont in the team, it's one less. So if Bont was in the team, it would have been one more. And again, I could still potentially get Bont by going Windsor down to a rookie again and going LDU up to Bont, which could possibly happen. But I think after seeing Bont score, which what did Bont get? He got a 113, but he only had 19 possessions. And it was more the role. If we go down, you got to love this footy scores crew. If you're not using this, it's brilliant. Centre bounce attendances goes by quarter. So the first quarter, Bont went to 83%. If he did that the whole game, I'd be locking him in. Second quarter, he goes down to 29%. Third quarter, 64%. Fourth quarter, 18%. It just shows they're willing to move him around. And I mean, he did have Dunkley on him, not as a hard tag, but Dunkley is probably their most accountable midfielder for Brisbane. So he ran with Bont, and they sent him up forward, and he ran right and kicked. What did he kick? He kicked 3 goals. But if he didn't kick those 3 goals, he probably would have got an 80. Or if he kicks 1 goal, he probably gets a 90. So it's kind of I don't like fading him. I also can go the other way too. He got 19 possessions. If he got 5 to 10 more possessions, that score is not a 113, it's a 130 or a 140. So it can go both ways. At the moment, I just really can't afford him in my team. So I hope you like the team crew. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to leave me a comment down below. All those things help me out a lot, and I love it when you do that for me. And don't forget the videos coming out for the rest of this week. Tomorrow, the draft one, where you get that special draft code where you'll be able to be in my draft. And then we'll be also doing the live video straight after that, where we talk to the community. We can review their teams and discuss what they think about what happened in round 0. Anyway, crew, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to talking to you all again. So have a great day, and I will speak to you soon. Take it away, Skip.